everything that feels small and insignificant, what do you think it adds up to? Massive, significant change. But
and the fact that you're downplaying it. Oh, it feels small and insignificant because you haven't celebrated it.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Strong, Well-Fed, and Outspoken. It is time for another topic with your girls. If you guys are new here, my name is Rusty, or Coach Frizzle, or the Miss Frizzle of Fitness.
And I am Coach Nell.
Yeah, what up,
You know
Coach
what?
Nell?
Fun fact. So the rescue I adopted my dogs from, they got two little poodles. They're like the same litter mates. One of them, their name was actually Rusty, like curly red-haired poodle, and the other one was like a little like dark one. And I was like, it's us, but dogs.
You should have taken a picture.
I should.
You definitely should have. That's hilarious.
Like these two have to stay together.
Yeah. Because otherwise, like if somebody had said about our personalities, I feel like we could pull like a Lucy and Ethel. Like, did you ever watch I Love Lucy?
For sure.
Right? 100%. Although I feel like we're both at times kind of like Lucy. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like there are definitely times where I could see like you leading the charge and me being the sidekick, and then vice versa.
Yes. Yeah, I think it's a good, what is it, symbiotic relationship.
Yes, yin and yang. Yeah, absolutely. Just wait until we like host a retreat or something, you guys. Imagine this energy through your car in person.
In your soul.
Yes, in your face.
The worst part is you're a morning person and I'm a night person, so nobody's getting a break.
Yeah, literally. It's going to be go, 24/7.
Day up to day down.
Yeah, I'll get the protein shakes in the morning and you can have the coffee, all day.
All day.
Yeah. It's been, so I'm still in Hawaii. I'll be living here for still the next little while. And the other day we had a storm pass through, and it's crazy because like growing up in Canada where like winter storms obviously snow and like the schools close because of snow days, but the wind was so insane that literally like huge cacti were like ripped up from the ground, which is insane. Yeah. Like, the electrical power lines were tossed over, but schools were closed because of how windy it was. And I was like, what? That's not a real thing. It's crazy. It's just, all what you're used to. But we're in we're in a condo, and it honestly, like, it was so loud. You kind of felt like, and like the doors, it's like floor to ceiling doors, windows or whatever. And it like the rattling was insane. We actually,
it's interesting how you like feel that in your body when you're not used to it. Hey.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And I don't know, for me, the wind has like, ever since I was a kid, the wind kind of scared me a little bit.
Freaks you out.
I feel like just because it's so powerful and you can't even see it.
And it's kind of foreign to us. Right? Yeah. I think it would be less scary if you dealt with it all the time. Like, I don't think that minus 40 is or minus 50 is that scary because I live it, right? But in reality, that will kill you, right?
Yes, absolutely. It's so true. I know, yeah. We get all this snow, or, people literally this year in Canada were like, at least in Ontario, we're like snowed in.
Record highs, yeah.
Yes. And like, we're just kind of like laughing about it. But somebody from here who'd never experienced snow would literally probably be fearing for their life.
I mean, like that scene in Cool Runnings where they're coming out of the airport, putting on all of their like gear.
Clothing. Yeah. That's awesome. So you guys, diving into today's topic, we're going to do a little bit, well, as always, like a keep it real topic, but today we're talking about like ways that we tend to self-sabotage ourselves on this journey, but not just the ways in which we self-sabotage, but also there's a lot of kind of secret ways that we tend to self-sabotage that I think a lot of us, well, hence the word secret, we're just not as aware of.
And we're not focusing on those things. So they're just like happening constantly in the background and we don't even realize.
Yes. Yeah. And it's one of those things, I think even some of them can come across actually. So this is probably going to be a two-parter, you guys. And two of them, I think, on today's list, or one on today and one on next week. But either way, almost come across as being positive.
Yes.
They're masked in a way that like, oh, but this should be like motivating. This is motivating. And actually, baby, it's probably causing more harm than good. Mm-hmm. It's probably giving you an excuse or creating a mindset of self-sabotage in some way or another.
Yeah, or you're saying this is motivating, but what it's actually doing is the opposite and you don't even realize. And so you're like, this is motivating me, but it's weighing you down.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Which, to be honest, on that note of like weighing you down, it flows in perfectly with our first point for today. How many of you guys, so in my fitness journey, I remember having like, okay, well, hold on, let me dive it further into my fitness journey. Like once I had already started like really losing weight, like we're talking like I was like, that point, I find it's about like 20
20
pounds.
pounds. Yeah.
Yeah. You start to need new clothes. You like
Mm-hmm.
notice things are, 25 pounds. You're like, oh, I like definitely need some new clothes. And I remember getting to that point, being really excited on one hand to go buy new clothes, but then looking at the old clothes in my closet, being like, maybe I should keep these, like just in case. Did you ever have that?
I was actually the queen of not falling into this trap because
Mm,
I'm convinced like I'm going to live a minimalistic life. I'm going
yeah.
to let go of the things that don't serve me. I've always kind of had that mentality. I love my brothers, God bless them, but they love to hold on to random junk. And my favorite thing, maybe it's the ADHD, I don't know, but as a kid I was like, I'm going to clean out your garbage.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
that was something I've always done. So I did really well at the clothing piece because
Okay.
I've always been, I mean, if you guys are watching today, I'm wearing leopard print overalls. Fashion
Yeah,
is
I
fun
love
to
them.
me.
Yep.
And so I've always wanted to dress the size of my body. That was never something I was like, oh, I'm going to hold on to this forever. I'm going to keep this. But I think also partly clothes didn't fit me well in my formative years.
Yeah,
Right? Like
yeah.
I'm almost 6 feet tall. I was always cushiony around the middle. Like that was where I carried my weight. I grew up in the era of like whale tail, low rise, tube tops. Those
Yeah.
clothes never looked good on me. So I think it was
Same,
probably an
girl.
easier thing for me to let them go.
Fair, fair. I relate to that hard, not on the height sense, although I definitely would have, when I played basketball, would have killed to be your height. But definitely on the broad shoulder front, like
Yes.
I just found in the like 90s, 2000s, like nothing fit me. Like this
Nope.
is ridiculous. And I was always like bustier. Like I joke about being built like a linebacker because like I have a very big back too. I was just like, this is not,
No,
this
it
is
was not a flattering sort of like silhouette on anyone that had a shorter torso, wide
yeah.
shoulders, you know.
Yeah, absolutely. So for me, I would say on one hand, I agree with you, like the clothes that like literally, because on one hand, I remember like there were clothes I kept that I did not feel comfortable in, but simply because they fit me. So then
Mhm.
when I had lost 25 pounds, I was like, see ya, wouldn't want to be ya, like happy to get rid of them. But on one hand, there were some clothes I genuinely loved. And so I think for all of us, we have that, like, oh, I
Yeah,
love
you
this
have a
outfit.
favorite
Oh, I want to
item
try
or
it out.
yeah.
Yeah, or donate it or give it away. But I also remember, so after losing 25 pounds, getting to a point where I was needing new clothes, looking at the old clothes that were designed for my 25-pound heavier body, thinking I should keep these just in case. But looking
Actually,
back,
yes.
just in case of what? Like, what
Yes,
was I
I've been
telling
there.
myself? Yeah, like just in case I'm going to gain all this weight back, just in case I'm not actually going to keep up with what I've accomplished so
Yeah, to
far.
allow the commitment to myself to continue. Yeah, because I think
Exactly.
when we think about this, we often think, "Oh, I'm going to fit into this later. That's a downsize. I'm gonna
Yep.
shrink down." And like literally, I've gone into bridal boutique, and they're like, "Oh, just buy the size down. You'll fit." How
Yeah.
toxic is that, first of all?
So toxic.
Right?
Excuse me, bitch. No. Who said I wanted to like? So like, why are you assuming this and putting this on me?
Legitimately. But
Yeah.
you're right. It does go the opposite way. This fear of like, we're going to go back to a place where we were. That's
Yep.
actually very negative, even though it can
Yep.
feel kind of comforting. No, I'm allowing myself to accept if I change.
Hmm.
But you don't have to go back to a version you didn't like or didn't love or didn't feel good in, right?
Yep. Yep. Absolutely. Absolutely. So I want you guys, to think about this for yourself. What are you holding on to right now that you're asking yourself, like, just in case? But the just in case goes, the
Both
just in
ways.
case opposes, yes, what it is that you've accomplished.
Yeah. So go stand
Maybe
in your
it's,
closet and
yep.
ask, is this going to help me in the person I am right now?
Yep.
Probably not. Chuck it out,
Yep.
donate it,
Exactly.
whatever.
Exactly.
Also,
Like,
can we just
yeah.
talk about like fashion? I'm never going to wear low rise jeans again, ever.
Never. They better
Why am
never.
I holding on to those?
Oh my gosh, girl, you still have them? I got rid of that
Yeah,
stuff
so
so fast.
I did have one pair, not because I didn't get rid of them, but because I got rid of them, put them in a bin to donate, forgot about the bin. And then like
Then there they
4 years
were.
later was like, what the heck is this?
That's hilarious. That's
Plot
like,
twist, they were the right size at that point because I had lost a lot of weight. They still
sure.
look bad. So
Yeah, no, we were out here the other day, actually, and I think it was shorts. They were like low rise shorts. I tried them on. I'm like, nope, like I will never go
they're
back to
calling them drop waist now. I'm like,
Yeah,
you can't convince me that these are not low rise.
yeah. I don't care what you call them. I'm not putting that shit on my body.
Yeah, so go stand in your closet, get rid of all those.
Yes, Maria Kondo your closet. You know, if it was an outfit that literally brought you joy, like I could understand it to a certain degree, but what is the message you're actually sending yourself? And then likewise, one thing that I want to say here, and you kind of touched it already, is the mentality of I'm keeping this because I will fit into it eventually. Now, this is one of those ones that can be motivating, but they can also be debilitating. It's
Even the word is debilitating.
Yes. Exactly. Did you like, so I literally had outfits, I remember at the time like that as well, where I like, to be honest, it's a dress I still have now that for the longest time, like still didn't fit me. I wasn't comfortable in, but I was like, I love the style of this dress so much. It will fit eventually. And it does fit now. And I still have it now. And every time I wear it, I'm like, man, I love that I kept this for so long. And I did get to that point. But I think at times, depending how many outfits you're talking about, you know, if you have we're talking like 4 or 5 different things that you keep telling yourself eventually I'll fit into this, that could be very like weighing you down.
Yes.
It's one thing I think to have like one thing as a motivator. It's another thing to like convince yourself that when you fit into something like that is when I don't know, there's like joy associated there, or like you were saying before, Nell, right? Like finding things that actually like fit your body, like you like fashion, and so it's important for you to have things that actually, I don't know how
Yeah,
you word it.
it's more about the style than about
Yep.
the shape or the tag. Because we were actually just talking about this with our group, with our clients, about
Yep.
how like the size on the tag doesn't define you. It's how it feels on your body. Does it make you walk with confidence? Cut
Yep.
your tags out, honestly.
You
Because
know,
here's the other
most
thing that happened is I did keep a few items that I was gonna fit into eventually. Plot
yep.
twist, I'm not built like that. And the way I was able to build my muscle, which was the number one goal, she doesn't fit anyways.
Yeah. Yep.
These babies, we're not fitting in that tight blazer. Because
Those
that's
who
the
are
other thing
not
too,
watching.
right? Like, oh yeah, so me just
Nell
throwing
just
the
flexed.
worst
Yeah,
flex
she wasn't
ever.
watching.
But the reality is, I was keeping a few items thinking, I am going to shrink down and fit into this. But then I
Yep.
built myself up in a better way, and I was like, this still isn't it. And I think
Yes.
you have to remember that's okay too.
Hmm.
Right? We talk about body types. I mean, you could get into color analysis, you can get into kibby types. The reality is, you're going to feel good in certain clothing items. There's nothing
Yeah.
wrong with that. I like
Yeah.
my body, but I freaking love an oversized flannel. I'm going to wear that no
Oh,
matter what.
yes, oversized t-shirt. I actually was wearing one right before we hopped on this call because I'm going to go hit legs after this. And I was like, oh, I literally look like a bag, like on the screen. Like I should probably change my top. But yeah, like an oversized, absolutely.
That's actually
You're
my favorite thing, a fitness influencer that nobody knows what they actually look like because they're always wearing the
big.
biggest, like, baggy. That's my favorite.
For sure. But your point just there was exactly what I was trying to say before, where like you keep these clothes because you think to yourself, it's motivating for me. It's motivating for me to think that one day I'll fit into these clothes. And it's motivating, it's motivating. But who's to say that once you actually even get there, you're going to like what you look like? And then
Right.
how like frustrating is that to potentially be like,
You have to go,
I
I
kept
worked
it
so
so
hard and
long.
this still feels bad on me.
Yeah, this still doesn't like it doesn't matter where you guys are in your journey right now. If you are living either in the past with clothes that were once too big for you that you're keeping because just in case, aka I might not maintain the results that I have, or you're keeping clothes because just in case I might get to a point where I fit them, you're never allowing yourself to be proud of where you are right now.
Mm-hmm.
You're never allowing yourself to find acceptance with where you are right now. And that will literally translate when you're 20 pounds heavier, 20 pounds lighter. If you never know how to live at peace with where you are now, you're never going to find that peace no matter what size you are.
Because really, that truly leads into our next thing is you're not
Mhm.
celebrating your success.
Yes.
Celebrating your success is where you are right now, not where
Yeah.
you used to be, not
Yep.
where you're going, where you are right now. And
Yep.
by holding on to those clothes, you're absolutely not allowing yourself to celebrate your current success.
Yeah, definitely not. Definitely not. I just had this conversation with a client, literally my last check-in from yesterday. And, she sent me a photo of her flexing and she's like, I'm so proud of this. And then underneath, she was like, I feel like this is such a like nothing thing, or, just a few wins she had in the week. She's like, it feels so small and insignificant. I'm like, no, like, everything that feels small and insignificant, what do you think it adds up to? Massive, significant change. But
And the
like,
fact that you're just downplaying it, oh, it feels small
yeah,
and insignificant because
yeah,
you haven't celebrated it. Because
exactly,
you don't truly
exactly.
feel proud of those things. Shout it from
Yeah.
the rooftop, honestly. Like, you and I do
Yes.
this all the time. Like, we talk out loud to ourselves.
All the time.
I freaking hype
All the time.
myself up. I'm like, girl, you
Mhm.
look so good today. Or like,
Mhm.
whatever it is. Look at how freaking heavy you lift, girl. I'm
Yep.
constantly actually saying out loud my internal monologue, and it is very
Yep.
positive. Now, was that
Yes.
always the case? No.
No.
It's a skill you have to work on, right? Just
Yep.
like anything, practice makes perfect or practice makes progress. But so
Yep.
many of us are going, like we ask our clients, what were you successful at this week? What are you proud of? And it
Yep.
is without a doubt one of the hardest questions for people to answer
Yep. Yep. Yep.
because it forces
Absolutely.
them to look small scale. What did I do that I can celebrate? And
Yes.
most of us don't think about it.
Yeah, yeah. If you are only ever waiting to celebrate the big things, your journey is going to feel a lot like misery. Because I'll be honest with you guys, the big things are big for a reason. They take a while to build up to. They don't happen all the time. If your life was lived in the big moments, guess what? The big moments would start to feel small because they just happen so infrequently.
Mm-hmm.
You need to make the small moments big. It's there is no really such thing as like, oh yeah, like I accomplished this huge massive thing without having accomplished all the small things on the way.
Yeah, it's true. It's a trend right now on TikTok where people are like my accomplishment cakes, right? And they're like putting their little like post-it notes on their
Oh
cake of things
yes,
they got.
yes, I
But it's
love
literally
that.
like
Yeah,
booked a doctor's appointment because you were putting that off,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
It's like the toilet paper analogy. Taking one piece of or one square of toilet paper off the roll is not going to show up right away, but eventually that roll is empty. That's
yeah.
the big win. You have to celebrate every square on the way.
Every single one, every single step, it really it doesn't matter. Not doing this is, in my opinion, both of our opinions, like a big way that people are self-sabotaging their journey.
Mm-hmm.
And along the way, like you're not always just going to have positives and wins. You are going to struggle, you are going to have slip ups, but kind of leading us here into the next one, if you let that slip up literally, as Mel says, like set your world on fire.
Yeah, like you get a hole in your tire, you don't slash
Yep.
the other three. That's
Yep.
insane. But that's what
Yes.
you do constantly in your health journey, in your fitness
Hmm.
journey, in your nutrition
Hmm.
journey. Oh,
Yep.
I missed a workout. I guess I won't go to the gym the rest of the week. Oh, I ate a
Yep.
cookie. I guess I'll order 3 extra large pizzas today and then who cares?
Yeah, it's wild to me that, we fall into this all or nothing mentality. And at the same time, to be honest, as I say that out loud, it's not wild to me because our world literally exists on it,
Mm-hmm.
right? All or nothing, rest when I'm dead. So therefore, people think that they have to be committed to everything to such an extent that if I mess up at all, I'm already done because all or nothing. Well, I didn't give it my all because I messed up today, so I guess it's nothing. But that's the thing. This mentality of all or nothing looks a lot more like nothing and a lot less like all when you tell yourself that's the way that you have to live.
Okay, super quick pause here because if you're listening to this episode and thinking, I really don't want another January where I go all in and fall off by February, you are exactly who we built our New Year's one-on-one coaching for. Our program is called 2026 Results That Stick. And the goal, if it doesn't sound obvious, is super simple. We want you to start 2026 the way you actually want to end 2026. It's not about losing 10 pounds in January. It's about making sure you're still here with sustainable results come April, come July, come September, come next December. Still moving, still consistent, still seeing progress. We are going to take you through a 4-month, 4-tiered coaching approach. Month 1 is going to be all about setting the foundation. Month 2 is our launch pad. Month 3 is where we literally start stacking results. And month 4 is where we teach you how to sustain every single result you've gotten. Think about it like this: 80% of people fall off by mid-February. And let's be honest, you've probably been part of that statistic. I know I have. Committing to the next 4 months means you're still going to be showing up when most people have already quit. You're going to get programming tailored specifically to you, one-on-one support from me and the other Team Frizzle coaches, as well as community support from other men and women who are working toward the same kind of long-term change as you. If you're ready to stop starting over and actually build results that last, click the link in the show notes and apply for our one-on-one 2026 Results That Stick coaching, and let's build something you're proud of, not just in January or February, but all freaking year long. All right, back to the episode.
If, let's say, you do eat something extra that you weren't planning on, but then you continue on with your day and you continue to hit the benchmarks you've set for yourself, stop, celebrate that, and keep going.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
You have to put these pieces together, because that's the reality. Is if you're not celebrating every time you keep going, if you're not celebrating every time you continue to push forward, you're setting everything on fire. You're not seeing your successes. And then you're, again, nothing. You're hitting that nothing instead of that all.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So honestly, like one thing I used to do is I used to say to myself every day, like at the start of each day, I'm already expecting to mess up today. You know, saying that to myself didn't give me free range because my goal was not to mess up, but it started my day with the mentality of knowing it's probably going to happen and I'm aware of it and it's okay when it does. Because you know, I no longer lived in this mentality. And believe me, I say this after having messed up, fallen off so many times, but I just realized like it just wasn't going to stop. And the thing is, you guys, like we are literally human beings. It is not about the perfection aspect. It's about the consistency. It's about you being able to look at what has happened and say, I'm okay with this and keep going.
Yeah. Cause I think it's gymnastics that is scored this way. You start with a perfect score, and then as things aren't met, you know, if you're not doing your backflips, if you're not doing your beam, whatever, that's when the score starts to go down. If you're starting every day with a full score and you fumble once, a 9 is a pretty damn good score as opposed to a 3.
Yeah.
Right. And that's kind of how I approach coaching, right? You are a 10 to me. Across the board, you are a 10. And it's every time you choose to not show up for yourself or you choose to let the world weigh you down, that drops that score, right?
Yeah.
But you're always a 10 in my book. Why are you a 3 in yours?
Yes. So powerful. Yeah. And like, it's crazy. At the same time, it goes back to our last point, right? It's crazy because you're not willing to celebrate your wins to the point of being like, I'm a 10 because I hit my fiber goal today, because you're like, that's not good enough. But as soon as you do have a cookie, you're like, I'm a 3, I suck. So why are you giving so much power, thank you, to like the tiniest little mess up that matters, like not at all, but that tiny little success, you're like, oh, it doesn't count. Like, do you see how backwards this is? Do you see how we're literally setting ourselves up for a life of self-sabotage? Because we're always convincing ourselves that what we do isn't good enough, but when we do something wrong, it's the end of the world.
Exactly.
Y'all, no more, baby.
Just end record now. Just leave it at that.
That's it. We'll see you next week. But honestly, it's, you know, this is where like it really is yin and yang, right? You need to allow yourself the positives, no matter how small they seem, and you need to also allow yourself to have the slip ups, no matter how small they seem. Because
and this is like a great way to like. We talk about giving yourself grace, but also holding yourself accountable. This is really what it boils down to. You're not letting yourself off the hook all the time, but you are understanding that things happen and the positives are still worth celebrating.
Yep.
And I think that's a better way to like envision giving yourself grace versus like, oh, well, I fumbled, so I'm done. That's not giving yourself grace, right?
Yeah. You know where I find people really confuse grace? When it comes to allowing themselves to not follow their plan because their husband doesn't want to eat what they want to eat.
Or their kids or their friends want to go out. It's girls' night. Yeah.
Well, it was Friday, or my office coworker made this or that. No. This is one of the biggest, in my opinion, especially for a lot of people. Like, if you're listening to this, most of the clients we work with, they're like above the age of 28 years old. We work with a lot of moms. We work with a lot of, people that are in relationships.
Yeah, even career women that are in
Yep.
like office settings with shared food, things like that.
The amount of people who are self-sabotaging because they think that they are doing something good by serving somebody else's needs, by loving somebody else, by making their spouse's favorite dish, by making the kids what they want, by eating their friend's homemade recipe. But all the while, you are literally saying, I don't matter, you matter more. This is one of, I think, the most common self-sabotages, and they're one of the biggest like secret ways we're self-sabotaging
Yes.
because it is masked as like, oh well, I'm loving other people.
Yeah, I'm serving other people.
Yeah, so on one hand you're like, I should feel good about myself because I'm showing up for somebody else, I'm serving somebody else, I'm doing what somebody else wants. Meanwhile, you still continue to feel like trash because you're never actually showing up for you, you're never actually getting further in your journey, and then you just continue to be like, see, this doesn't work for me.
Yeah, because you're constantly like, oh, I've been dieting my whole life, but you haven't actually been in a deficit because of these
Yeah.
moments, right? And I think
Yeah.
that's where a lot of people really struggle because they feel like they've been putting the work in, but they really haven't because
Yeah.
of all these little events or these
Yep.
moments of putting yourself last. And I think like you and I both have pretty strong beliefs, a servant's heart. This is where it gets twisted. A
Yes.
servant's heart doesn't mean that you put yourself last all the time. It's that you stop caring about yourself
Yep.
by letting other people dictate that. That is not
Yep.
a servant's heart.
No, that's being a pushover, man.
Yeah.
No, like when, like if you are, whether you are, believe in God or not, listening to this, there is a verse though that does tend to get thrown up a lot, right? Where like, about like loving other people. And the thing that people forget is like the Bible talks very clearly about like loving other people as you love yourself.
Yes, as you love yourself.
Exactly. That's the line that often gets forgotten about, as you love yourself. You guys, one of the biggest ways you are going to continue to self-sabotage, forget about just with fitness and nutrition, but just the rest of your life, right? Like at the end of your life, you don't want to be in a position where you're like, I didn't do the things that I wanted to do because I was so concerned with doing what other people wanted of me. That's what this comes down to. And fitness and nutrition, your health goals fall into that bracket. What is it that you want to do? And what are you sacrificing simply because you believe that you are a more loving person? All the while, you are literally telling yourself, I don't love myself. It's okay for you guys to, not do what everybody is doing, even if that means like making your own food separate than your family's, or not eating your best friend's chocolate cake, or whatever it is.
Yeah, because there's a difference between being present and being involved in what you think is mandatory.
Yeah.
I can tell you, I have been to so many events with so many people doing my own thing, and people are like, hey, thanks for coming. It was so good to see you. Like, I'm so glad you were here. No one is like, ew.
Yeah.
And if they are, cut them. You don't.
Bye. I was thinking that too.
Honestly.
Yes. Bye-bye. Yeah. It's so true. I always try and post for you guys, like, when I'm out and about, and like the food that I bring and things like that. And not too long ago, I went out for breakfast with my family, and I posted like I had my own Tupperware there, and people were like, with my family, I would hope not, but some family members will give you shit, right? People, said to me like, do your friends not care? Like, do your family not care? No, because like, don't forget, you're so busy thinking that like you have to love everybody else and put yourself on the back burner. When do other people love you? While you're trying to support everybody else and what they like and what they want and what they expect of you, when do other people love you? Because if
Truly.
you are only in relationships with people, environments where you somehow think you have to give everything and you get none of that love back, that's a problem.
Yeah, because if you can't accept love, how are you going to give it to yourself? Which kind of leads back to our earlier things, right? You have to love yourself. You have to accept it from yourself, but you also have to accept it from other people.
Yeah. Yeah. So you guys, this is a really big one. We really want to help you with this. More than anything, I would say from our list so far, this is a big one.
Yeah, this is, I think, the hardest one to navigate, especially because you've been in these situations for your whole life. It's hard to shift the way you show up in these situations. And I think that's where people get discouraged in the process. It's not that they can't, it's that the shift into it from who you used to be is difficult.
Yeah, definitely. And, on that note as well, one of the biggest things that can help truly, you guys, with, navigating this is working with somebody, is having a community that supports you. If you guys are in a position right now where you're kind of listening to all these things and you're like, damn, I somewhat do all of this, or, I do really struggle with self-sabotage. And I think that's why I'm not seeing more progress. Like, hop on a call with us. Hop on a call. Let's talk a little bit about coaching. We have an awesome community as well, like with everybody that works one-on-one with us, and like the amount of support that they all give to each other in our group chat is wild to me. I'm like, I don't even have to say anything right now.
I know, right? Sometimes I check in, I'm like, I should probably post. Now these guys got it.
Yeah. And like, don't get me wrong, sorry, when you work one-on-one with us, you do work one-on-one with us. Check-ins and all that stuff are private, but we also have a community chat with all of our other one-on-one people, and it is massively beneficial and supportive. So there will be a link in the show notes below that you can click to fill out a form, to hop on a call with us, and let's chat about where you're at.
Yeah, because I think too, like we talked about, like not following your plan because someone else is involved. I think this can look different for everybody, right? Like I don't eat out very often. I've got a lot of newly discovered food issues. And so eating out's not an enjoyable process. So when I do get the opportunity to eat out, I kind of lean into it. But for you travel the world all the time. You're eating out often. And so there needs to be more structure there because of how often it's happening, right? And I think that's the thing too, is what does it look like for you? Is it packing meals every time? Maybe, if you're doing it 7 days a week, right? It really should. But if you're doing it once every, 6 months, it can look a little bit different, right?
Totally. Yes, it really can. So like the context, the situation, it all definitely matters.
And that's where a coach can really help, right? They can help you navigate that.
Yes. Yeah. So like we said, guys, we're going to make this a two-parter. The last one we really wanted to talk to you guys about, and this is one of the big secret ways people are self-sabotaging, and it is often confused as motivation. It's often confused as being more disciplined, but a lot of people confuse abuse for commitment.
Abuse might sound kind of scary to you, but that's truly what it is. And you're doing it to yourself.
Yep. So what we're talking about when we say you're abusing abuse for commitment is people will wake up and feel under the weather. They will be exhausted. They will be run down, and they'll still think to themselves, I'm getting to the gym. Look at how badass I am. I got it done. I'm checking the box. I'm here. I'm showing up. It's the all or nothing. It's the rest when you're dead mentality that is actually
that never miss a Monday. Like, I hate
all
it.
of it. You are confusing abuse for dedication. Your journey is not, the success of your journey is not built off of how many times you can deny yourself a rest day. It's not going to be any better. In fact, it will probably be worse. Your results will be worse for all of the times that you knew you should have had a little bit more sleep, or you should have taken the time to just like meal prep or meditate or actually spend time with your family. Because
or you get into this like extreme caloric deficit and think, because I am suffering, that is better commitment, right? And it's not.
Yes,
right?
Yeah. People think that like the harder this is, the more I have to suffer, the more badass I am, the better my results are going to be. And again, likely your results will be worse. And take it honestly from somebody who did push themselves too long. This is part of the reason why I am in this health phase, is I pushed myself a little too long in my deficit, and I have thyroid problems. Well, not problems, but I'm working on my thyroid health now as a result, because you cannot abuse yourself and think that there won't be repercussions. And that's what a lot of people are doing. And unfortunately, it's a lot like David Goggins. I can look at him from like one aspect and like appreciate, but on the other aspect, I'm like, brother, this is abuse. Like,
right. And that's why you and I follow an assortment of people, right? Because there's different perspectives, and I like to see what's going on in the world.
Yeah. And I think my issue with like the David Goggins mentality is not that he can probably handle it, but it's that people that are listening can't handle it.
Yes.
And then they're trying to keep up with that. And it is literally like abusing your own body.
Yeah. Like I think about when I was at one of my lowest points after my injuries, after multiple surgeries, like we're talking ground zero. My mother-in-law was helping me get dressed in the morning, right? Like my husband was washing my hair while I cried. It was ugly. And then me thinking like, I have to work out 7 days a week. What?
Yeah.
Abuse.
Yep. It is. It's crazy, man. Yeah, there were so many days where like for college or whatever, I was so underslept, like 4 hours of sleep. And I'd like post that picture. I'm like, here I am at the gym getting it done. Now I'd be like, baby, no. Like,
yeah, come with me as I start my day at 3 a.m. and then I literally crash and burn for 4 hours and do it all over again.
Yep.
No wonder I was unwell in my mid-20s. It all came crashing down.
Yeah. It is absolutely crazy. And it's something that you guys really need to be aware of, because as soon as we flip that mental script, I mean, a lot of today's episode was the mental script, right? The mental script around what you're telling yourself with your clothes, around what you're telling yourself about your successes versus
about your
struggles.
Loved ones. Yeah.
Yes. It's the mental script of I'm not allowed to rest. Rest is weakness. I'm not allowed to spend time filling my cup emotionally with friends or with family. Like, it all has to be about my commitment to fitness. I have to say no to everything all the time. This is abuse being masked as dedication.
Yeah, because as we're talking about it, another thing that falls into this sort of abuse category is I have to sweat or be sore after every single workout.
Yep.
Being sore after every single workout is not an indicator of a good workout. It's actually an indicator that like your body is actually not healing. It's not recovering. It's not performing well. Now, it's okay to be sore once in a while, especially when you're doing something new. But a lot of people get it twisted. I have had lots of people come back and go, oh, I wasn't really sore after this workout.
Yeah.
Good. Yeah. You also slept for 8 hours for the first time in 3 weeks.
Yeah. It's so true. It is so true.
Yes, because dedicated and disciplined are actually different, right? One is finding where you can be consistent and can continue to show up for yourself. And one is going balls to the wall and expecting to feel good.
Yep, definitely. So 5 things. I think it was 5, right? I think
1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, 5.
5 things. Some secret, some not so secret, some kind of masked as motivation, ways that we are self-sabotaging ourselves. Next week, we're going to do a part 2 here. So again, if any of this hit home for you guys and you're planning to come back, hopefully next week, first of all, hit subscribe so you don't miss next week's episode or the future episodes. But I'd love to give you guys a little bit of homework this week, each day. I want you to just pay attention to your subconscious thoughts, the thoughts you have around what you wear, the thoughts around what you're making when you're with your family, the thoughts that you have about yourself, with your successes. Every single day, try and find just a couple minutes to reflect back on the thoughts you've had. Journal it, write it down, write out some wins for yourself for the day, and then get ready next week to have
we got five-ish more for you. One thing that actually really helped me is anytime you catch a reflection, say a positive. Say a positive about yourself. And and I know some of you are avoiding your reflection. So first of all, that's going to be step 1 for you. But some of you're looking at yourself in car windows. You're looking at yourself in the mirror. You're looking at yourself anytime you can see your reflection. Say something positive.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Because that's going to help you rewire that brain with like a tangible moment.
Yep, definitely. I like that. I really do. I like that one. So there you guys go. If you like this episode, please feel free to share it to your social medias. That helps us huge. Tag us in it. Both of our social media handles will be posted in the show notes below. And am I missing anything? Until next time?
Yeah, right. Follow, 5-star us.
Yes.
If you like us. If you don't like us, 5 stars anyways. Just kidding. And honestly, if you found yourself sabotaging a little bit and you didn't really even realize it till this episode, and if you're comfortable, share that. Let us know, but put it in the comments. We love to interact and chat with you guys.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, you guys have a beautiful rest of your week. We'll see you guys next week.